morning. Let's try it again. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's try it again. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, my name is Clarence Callaway. I am a former high school principal. I worked in camp schools for 37 years. I worked as a principal for 33 years. I have been principal of Shamrock Middle School, Chapel Hill Middle School, Destiny Achievers Academy, Wadsworth Elementary. I worked at the central office as a health and PE coordinator. Today we're talking about the 10 essential elements that will get you through high school. What I have today, if you follow these essentials, you will graduate high school. The president made a very statement that I thought was profound. The president said, you cannot drop out of high school and drop into a great paying job.
You cannot drop out of school and just drop into a good job.
A good job requires a good education. Make sense? Talk to me. Make sense? Speak up. Make sense?
Yes.
Let me share something with you. I love to cut my yard, and I cut it in the middle of the day when it's extremely hot. I'm from the South, so it can't get too hot for me. I have a riding mower, but sometimes I'd rather push. I have 2 acres that I push. Back in January, I saw that the weeds were overtaking my yard. You know, crabgrass is rough here in Georgia. Crabgrass is just overtaking my yard. So I called a Scots to come over and give me an estimate on my yard. $659. I said, no way I'm doing it myself. So I go to the Home Depot and I get pesticide, weed killer. It says put 2 ounces of pesticide per 16 ounces of water. The container I had held 1 1/4 gallon of water. How much pesticide should I have put in that water? You don't have the answer. But here's my point. Even something as simple as lawn care calls for what? Calls for what?
Education. Something as simple as lawn care calls for education. Do you realize that the gentleman who takes care of the Braves field make close to $300,000 a year? And all he has to do is keep the grass green. The Chicago Bears, their field. These gentlemen make a very, very nice salary, just keeping the grass green. Now, can you imagine? Universities, hospitals, major corporations, they're based on curb appeal. When you drive up and you see the lawn care, it's not happenstance. There's a person doing that who is educated. Something as simple as cutting people's yards requires an education. So why do we drop out of school? According to society, there's nothing in this world more useless than an uneducated black man. Why y'all staring at me like that? Did you hear what I said? There's nothing more useless than an uneducated black man. You know why? Because he can't contribute. Can't contribute to anything. Because uneducated is equivalent to unemployed. And if you're unemployed, you can't pay the rent. But if you don't work, you can't what? Because you don't have any what? You don't have any money. Because you don't have any money. See, if you don't work, you don't have any money to pay taxes. So, you're useless. You can't help your family. You can't contribute to your community, to your county. You can't help your state. Because you can't contribute at all. Because you don't have anything. It's based on education. Is that pretty clear? Is that clear? Think about it. Uneducated, unemployed, you can't even help your family. Now, when you live in an apartment or a house when you rent, what do? You get what? You get evicted. So what does that mean? They put you out. In other words, they put you out. Now, the DeKalb County can't put you out of the county, but they can make it so hard on you that you want to leave or you do something stupid and end up where? In jail. You guys own it. Then you end up in jail. So that cycle just goes on and on. You're uneducated, you're unemployed, you do something stupid, and you end up where? In jail. Because it's better to have you in jail because you're not contributing to what? Anything.
I guess the best thing I can say about Mr. Callaway is to tell you how I met him. We both met as we were forming the board associated with the DeKalb County of PTA's Men's Initiative. Our goal was to get 1,000 men to help do mentoring. What is ironic and positive about my relationship with him is that he has indeed turned in to be a mentor for me, as well as a mentor for the young men who are at this program today.
My name is Sylvester Hopewell. I'm a member of the 100 Black Men of DeKalb County. I'm also the chairman of the Men's Initiative with the PTA with DeKalb County. Dr. Callaway is a member of our Men's Initiative with the PTA, and I've known him for at least the past 3 years. And he's a very observant individual with regard to young people. He really loves young people, and he wants them to be the best that they can be. I've watched him do various programs with school children in the DeKalb County. I've observed him as he helps them to look at themselves and think about the things that they're doing with their lives, and help them think about what they can do to be more positive with regard to their lives and the lives of others that they interact with.
My name is Dr. Andrew Griffin, and I've had the pleasure of knowing Dr. Callaway for many years. It was so good for me to see his class and participate in his class this morning. The principles that I think he brings across are so crisp and right to the point. And I think what he does in involving the students as he asks and shares his 10 particular areas that he wants to talk about. And he talks about it in a way that engages them in using their real examples. So I think anybody who has the opportunity to hear him should really embrace him and really get him to in front of kids, particularly the kids, to share. Now that I'm thinking about it, not just the kids, but also the instructors. It appears to me that his many years of teaching, as well as being an administrator, would be very helpful for the teachers to recognize what he has to offer and what they do either to help kids or to hurt kids.
Okay, guys. The first, number one, is accept authority. Guys, this is what I need you to understand. I need you to understand that your teacher is in charge of the classroom. It doesn't matter how old he or she is. It doesn't matter how she looks, what she wears, how tall she is, where she comes from. Nothing matters. She is in charge of the class. She tells you what to do. She tells you when to do it. And most times she tells you how to do it. She is in charge of the class. And all you have to do is accept that and move on. Your teacher will never tell you something that's detrimental to your health. Your teacher will never tell you go out there and jump off the building. Your teacher will never tell you to go stand in front of a bus. What the teacher tells you is very simple. Most of the time is turn around and do your work. Understand policies and procedure. Understand policies and procedure. Now, any of you guys up with the NBA finals? And you guys keeping up with the finals? Tomorrow will be history in the NBA. They have at least four game sevens, which they've never had in the history of the NBA. But guess what? Zach Bradnoff from Memphis will not be playing. Somebody asked me why. Because he punched the player in the game the other night. Now, is punching allowed in the NBA? Pardon me? Why would someone at that level do something that's stupid? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't get mad and violate the rules. You don't get mad. The policies are put in place for a reason. The policies in this school were here before you were born, and they're going to be here long after you're gone.
So when you walk in this school, the best thing you can do is say, what are the policies and procedures? And I will adhere to them. Why is that so hard to do? Why we can't follow the rules? And then we get upset when we get chastised. I was in Walmart the other day, and I shop at Walmart on a regular basis. The first three cashier stands, it says, express lane, 20 items or less. You guys seen those? Gentleman walks in with a basket full of stuff, probably 60 to 75 items. So he get in the line that says 20 items or less. And the young lady said, well, sir, this line is for 20 items or less. He said, I see the sign. She said, well, you need to go to they had to call the police to get this fool to move. The next one, guys, is disengage accusation. Now, this is the one I like here. This is the one I like. How many of you have ever been falsely accused? Raise your hands high. If you've ever been falsely accused, raise your hand. All right, put them down. Now, what do you normally do when you're falsely accused? Yes. You say you didn't do it. And the teacher said, well, I thought it was you. Then what? But you get in trouble because of what? You good? Yes, sir. You keep arguing. He said it right there. You keep running your mouth. You keep running your mouth. Disengage accusation. That means when you're falsely accused, as a principal, every young man came to my office, came to me because he was falsely accused. The teacher said, stop talking. He said, I wasn't talking, bruh. So right then, you crossed the line. If a teacher falsely accuses you, you simply say, my bad, okay, and you move on. Who's in charge of the classroom?
The teacher.
Do you have much right in that classroom? Not a whole lot. Thank you. You got not a whole lot. Because the teacher's not doing anything to hurt you. As long as she or he doesn't put his hands on you, that's not going to hurt you. You're right. You got to stand up. And what normally happens when you stand up for your right? Sit up straight. What normally happens? Take your hand out for me. Why? And you do what? You cross the line. You own it. Why do you all do that? Why do you all do that? Permanent. Talk to me. But see, it's not talking to you all kind of ways. The teacher only says stop talking. I mean, how else could she have said, please, stop talking, please? Now, if you weren't talking, how do you respond to that? What do you say? That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say. But is that what you do? No, because your peers are looking. The minute you say my fault, you get that little note that says, man, don't let her punk you. Then all of a sudden you act a fool. Why do we do that as young men? But the Trayvon Martin case, we all know about it. We all heard about it, right? Let's us go back to that scene. Let's all of us in our minds go back to that scene. And from what I know, Trayvon is walking down the street and he's confronted by this older gentleman. And the gentleman said something to him. And then what happened? Trayvon did what? Not necessarily, not first, but he said something what? He said something back. Now, supposing we go there and the guy said something to Trayvon, and Trayvon said, yes, sir, you're right, I need to get on home. Will he be alive today? Perhaps. Perhaps. Expect tomorrow is number 4. Over at Destiny, I had a young man who was so intelligent. So intelligent. He only came to schools on the days that we gave tests. And he made straight A's. He would call up to the school and say, when are we having a test? And he would come to school and make straight A's. About 17 days before graduation, he got a job working with his uncle, doing yard work. And he was making $10 an hour. $10 an hour doing yard work. So he stopped coming to school. But how many days are we in school now? We only got 17 days left. So he stopped coming to school. He had passed all the state graduation tests. He had a 3.8 GPA. So I called him, I said, look, you only need to come to school 17 more days and you get a high school diploma. Not a high school attendance, a high school performance. You get a genuine high school diploma. He said, Mr. Callaway, I gotta make my money today. I said, but what about tomorrow? He said, I got a baby on the way. I said, when is your baby due? He said, in July. When is school out? May. He said, in July. I said, think about this. You gonna give this up? He said, Mr. Callaway, I got to make my money today. I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I said, I will come and pick you up. Now he lived way out of East Point. I said, I'll drive to East Point every morning and pick you up if you just come to school. So I drove to East Point 2 straight mornings and couldn't find him. Got back to school by 10 o'clock. Now I'm the principal of the school, and I'm out there trying to find a kid who needs to be in school. I drove 2 days. So finally I get him on the phone, and I said, where were you? He said, Mr. Callaway, we had a yard to cut. I just want to tell you what. Just come to school. Just come to school, sign in, and leave. I will count you present. He said, well, I'll be there next week. We down to like 13 days now. He said, I'll be there next week. Never showed up. Never showed up. 17 days to graduate. And he stopped school 17 days before he graduated. The president says, we can do so much, but if you can't help yourself. Got 17 days to go so fast. So guess what? Now, I don't do fast food. I'm kind of a health nut. I don't do fast food. One day, I passed Church's Chicken, and the chicken was smelling real good. So I go through the drive-through window. And guess who I see? He said, hey, Mr. Callaway. Now, I don't have any issue. I don't have any problem with working at churches. But that's a job for high school kids who are trying to make it. You can't do that. You can't sustain a family doing that unless you're the manager. But that's where he was. Had he graduated, there's no telling where he could have been. But he did not expect tomorrow. He didn't think tomorrow was coming. Had a young man who walked in every Monday, he got his allowance. He was getting $20 a week in middle school. So he walks up to the concession stand and buys $20 worth of Snicker bars. Snicker bars were $1 a piece. He bought 20 Snicker bars. Put them all in his backpack. I said, why are you spending all your money today? He said, because tomorrow may not get here. I said, but what if it does? What if it does? See, what you got to understand is this. Tonight, a lot of people are going to die. That's just the way of the world. Thousands of people are going to die tonight. But more are going to live. All you guys are going to get up in the morning. Unless something drastic happens. Everybody sit up, son. Sit up. Everybody sitting in this room is going to get up in the morning. You got to expect that. You got to expect that. And when you can get up in the morning, you make the best of it. Expect tomorrow. Listen to this. Listen to this. I'm not gonna bring God into this. But one of the greatest blessings you can have is by helping others. Mm-hmm. If you really, really want to be blessed, you help others. I don't care how lazy he is. If you can help him, then you help him. All right, here's the next one. Understand reality. Understanding reality.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Shots fired, free fail.
We're just trying to get home. What is going on?
Did you guys see the movie, what is that, Fruitvale Station? You guys see that movie? Did you guys see that movie?
No.
The movie was based on a true story. And see, once you take a look at that movie, you understand what you are worth in our society. It's about a young, uneducated African-American male who was gunned down, shot in the back when he was laying on the floor and on the ground, and he was not guilty of anything. It goes back to the Trayvon Martin situation. And I'm going to say this, I really like your dreads, but I want to say this to you. 3 years ago, I had a DeKalb County police officer come to our school, and what he said was 85% of the kids they arrest wore dreads. And I think that's so unfair, because at the time, my son had dreads. My son's dreads hung right here, but guess what? My boy went to Auburn University, an all-white university, and got a degree in early childhood education. But he was stopped so many times. He drives a black Tahoe, sitting on 24s, tinted windows, and dreads. So what does he look like? So every morning he was calling me. He said, "Dad, I got stopped again." He said, Dad, the police said that I rolled through a school zone when the school officer said, "Come on through," but I got stopped. He said, "Dad, I believe they're picking on me because I have dreads." I said, "You think?" I said, "Do you think?" So finally he cut them off. He's an Ivy Leaguer now. Hadn't been stopped since he cut them off. So my point is this to you. What you need to do is become as articulate as you can become. And if you ever stopped, you need to let the police know how smart.
Okay, number 1 is accept authority. 2, understand policy procedure. 3, disengage accusations. 4, expect tomorrow. 5, understand reality. 6, develop self-esteem. 7, realize potential. 8, setting long-range goals. 9, living in the moment. And 10, don't personalize rejections. Guys, everybody here at some point will be rejected. Everybody here will go for an interview and don't get the job. Everybody here will apply for college and don't get accepted. It's just the way of the world. You know, we all know about Abraham Lincoln, right? You know he ran for president 11 times? He ran for president 11 times. And he failed 11 times, right? He became president the 12th time he ran. Now what happened, what would have happened had he quit? We wouldn't be talking about him today. Right, we all know the story of Michael Jordan. He got cut in what grade? Middle school. He got cut in middle school. Hank Aaron hit how many home runs? 755, right? But guess what? He struck out over 1,300 times. So, in other words, there will be failures. It's a part of growing up. Failure is a part of success. When you fail, you go back and you come back a little what? A little stronger, a little stronger. Guys, I'm going to say this to you guys. I get a good vibe with you all. I don't know what schools you attend. I don't know who you live with, but it appears that you guys come from pretty good homes. You've been quite respectful, and I like that. I didn't have to ask anybody to be quiet and stop talking. Give yourself a hand for that, please. And I want you to understand this. You can be whatever you want to be. But it's not going to be easy, because it's just not easy. Life is hard. Success is hard. Success is hard. If it was easy, it's like losing weight. You know, they said it's miracle diet pill. Take this pill and lose 30 pounds in a month. If it was that simple, there would be no overweight people in the world, would it? Would it? Everybody will be slim and trim. But it's just not the way it is. Any questions for me?
Can I just say one thing?
Yes, sir.
On behalf of the Male Uplift Program, we have a certificate we want to present to Dr. Callaway. Can everybody give him a hand, please?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys, we listen, good luck to you. We are done, and enjoy the rest of your day.
I only had 5 fights in 5 years because the kids knew this is Mr. Callaway's school and we don't fight in his school. If it doesn't cause you any harm, then let it go.